ये बालवीर सीज़न 3 का फुल एपिसोड 7 है, जिसमें हम एपिसोड 7 में होने वाले जितने भी सीन्स हैं और पूरे एपिसोड 7 को दिखाएंगे और उस एपिसोड 7 के बारे में डिटेल से बात भी करेंगे और एपिसोड 7 की स्टोरी लाइन को डिटेल्स से समझाएंगे ताकि सब बालवीर फैंस को इस नए एपिसोड की समझ आ जाए। अगर आप सबसे पहले सीज़न 3 के एपिसोड्स देखना चाहते हैं तो मैजिक वर्ल्ड को सब्सक्राइब कर दें और इस वीडियो को लाइक कर दें ताकि अगले सीज़न 3 के फुल एपिसोड्स आपके पास सबसे जल्दी आएँ। तो इस एपिसोड को शुरू करते हैं। Today's episode will be an in-depth introduction and discussion of episode 7, and yes, we are also going to talk about the primary plot of this new show of Balveer. Now, this entire plot revolves around one main thing, which is Mahajadu, and this was discussed in the very first episode. So we know that Mahajadu is definitely at least in Balveer season 3 holds up the power of Paritara, and yes, it is a very, you can say, surprising and shocking thing to say and hear, but it is, you can say, developed, and it is really just set up in a way where we have to believe that Mahajadu is an alternate power that could go toe-to-toe against Paritara, which is, of course, as Balveer fans, we all know is not true. And Mahajadu is so weak that it can very well be absorbed by anyone, and actually someone from, or you can say a hybrid from Earth and Himbashlok, or any fantasy, or actually any magical realms being, and the offspring of that being and of a mortal and a titan, or you can say a fairy, will have Mahajadu be destroyed in no minutes. So Mahajadu has this, you can say, drawback from being the most powerful magical source and power in this new universe. And of course, we will be seeing the power that is probably a new Tara, which will be, as in Balveer and Balveer Returns, we had Paritara in Balveer season 1, and in Balveer Returns we had Veer Tara, which was dubbed Paritara for some reason. And yes, we are never going to call it Paritara, it will always be Veer Tara, because Paritara is having its own symbol of a diamond and a star, and it definitely holds a lot of power. It has been set up and it has always been Paritara since the very first episode to the very last episode. And of course, with all the, you can say, Kalish Tara, they had that symbol and they had that structure and design of Paritara. So yes, it is entirely possible that we might see a new Tara, a new star, which is capable and is actually and equally powerful like Paritara and Veer Tara. Paritara from Parilok, Veer Tara from Veerlok. So it is entirely possible that we see Sashwan Tara, which is definitely a new, or you can say it isn't new, it has always been there. So Sashwan Tara will be our new, you can say, concentrated ingot and a new concentrated power in a form of stone, or you can say crystal. And we will definitely we are definitely very excited to see what they have for Sashwan, or you can say actually it is Shashwan Tara. So what powers it holds, it definitely has the same powers as any other Paritara or any other crystal or star or Tara like Paritara and Veer Tara, just that it has the power of destroying anything that is used against it. So that's about that. And yes, explaining the storyline of Balveer season 3, which starts from the very first episode, starts with the introduction of Balveer, which is of course very necessary. Then we get to see, just after, you can say, a few introductions, a few more introductions to the heroic look of Balveer, to a very normal human form of Balveer. So just after a couple of seconds, we see that plot directly changing into the bond that a mother has for her son and a son has for his mother. So we get to see that, and that was the main objective of that, and they explained it very well in the interviews. And yes, we are also going to talk about an in detail discussion, which will be, you can say, we will really analyze the interviews and the Q&As that the cast and crew members, and especially the crew members and the production team of Baal 3 are doing, because Baal is just out now. It has only been more than 2 weeks, or less than 3 weeks since Baal is out. So we are really excited for that as well, and we are really happy to share these details with the Baal fans who deserve them. So the plot and storyline is that Akashvi, who is the offspring, or you can say who is the daughter of a mortal human from Earth, Baal, and you can say a warrior, a tough warrior, and immortal. Well, we can say that Veer is immortal because she will never age, but she might die from, you can say, wounds or from fatal injuries. That is something true, because anyone can die in Baal universe, especially in Baal universe. It is entirely possible for any of our characters to die with the help of magic or with the attack of magic. So as of now, and we have this theory that Veer, and especially Veer, isn't dead. Baal might die because he is a human after all, and he was attacked with Balvir's power that he used, and we really hope that they change that in the future, in the near future. So yes, so the main plot is that Mahajadu, which is the ultimate power weapon of Agil, which is apparently 11 times, and we are really sharp about this, it is 11 times powerful than the last weapon that Agil used to kill the previous Balvir. Now, of course, it is very debatable, and it really just shows us how powerful of an offspring Kashvi is. And of course, we will definitely see, and it is entirely inevitable to see Kashvi in her fairy / warrior / Valkyrie form, just like her mother. But of course, this inspiration, first of all, is probably, you can say, a sign and a direction to Twilight. And of course, Twilight being the example of this really isn't the brightest example, but it is. Just like how Edward and Bella from Twilight had a baby which was immortal, and it was deemed immortal, and it was deemed demonic by the Volturi. So just like that, we have a mortal and the offspring of a mortal and an immortal, which will, and actually they aren't immortal, they are just tougher than mortal humans. Of course, that is you can say, a good and a decent explanation regarding that. So that is one thing. And Kashvi being the offspring and the child of a mortal and you can say an anti-mortal or an anti-immortal, just shows us how powerful she is and how much of a threat she is to her opposite side. And as of now, the only opposite side she has is Agil. And Agil, of course, is because she saw how, or actually she actually didn't really see anything on how Veer was attacked and hurt by Agil. So no one's here to tell her that, and only Veer knew that. So that is also out of the question. And of course, if they are going with this storyline, it will be a really brilliant one. We can guarantee and we can assure the Balvir fans that. But Balvir 3, of course, is, as promised, revolves around, you can say, plot twists and you can say backstabbing and scheming and all of that we find in good TV shows. So